My name is Zipho Sikhakhane. I'm a businesswoman, I'm a business strategist. I'm an individual who's really passionate about helping businesses and individuals really unleash their growth potential. So I lead a firm of management consultants, facilitators, and trainers that are really focused on leadership, change, culture reform, and really positively affecting our multinationals across the globe. By background, I'm from northern KwaZulu-Natal, so I grew up in a small township. And I come from impoverished circumstances, but I had the privilege of, through hard work and determination, I had a full scholarship that gave me the opportunity to go move to Cape Town, study business, which was my passion. I've always wanted to be a businesswoman when I grew up. And thereon, I moved on and I worked in different multinationals that had presence in different parts of sub-Saharan Africa in consulting and strategy. I was doing key roles there, and also had the opportunity to move to the United States, where I did my MBA at one of the leading programs, so Stanford Business School in California, which is just an amazing opportunity for me, and had the privilege also of being able to get a full scholarship for it. And a bit after that, I then moved and I actually went and worked for what is the world's biggest retail group. I was in an international director role, right? And I ended up working across 6 different continents. I traveled to about 37 different countries. And I love seeing the world. I think it's such a beautiful way to get to know yourself and just also get to know and appreciate others. So by the time I moved back to South Africa, I had this breadth of not only local but also global experiences that I use in my day-to-day art to really influence individuals, to really influence the business leaders and really the organizations, help them really unleash their true potential. And on this journey for me, I think one of the things that has been really key and has been really important is having that audacity, just that courage to break the barriers, irrespective of the circumstances that are around you. I mean, if there's a door, open it. If it's locked, find the key. If you can't find the key, you break it down, right? I'm a big believer that's how you unleash your potential, especially because an ever-evolving context is the only given. Things will constantly be changing around us environmentally, right? But what keeps you solid is doing the work that you need to do to stay truly authentic as an individual. And today I'm going to share with you, what are some of the things that have really helped me navigate some of the complexities that life presents, which I'm pretty sure we will all be going through as we go through different phases in life. If you look at the context of where we are in the world in terms of in the world human history, I mean, in the last 2 years or so, I mean, it's been one of the most disruptive periods for a human being to be alive. I mean, we're making it through a global pandemic. I mean, 2020 disrupted us, right? In many ways. I mean, the ways we work, the ways we study, the ways we connect with our families and even our communities. I mean, we even lost lives. Some of us are still even recovering to this day. It was very difficult. And 2020 was about stabilizing and finding our feet beyond that. But the weight of what we carried from the period before was a difficult thing to go through. I mean, having to adjust to working in a hybrid environment, connecting virtually with those we love, restricted in our movements. Human beings don't do well with change. I mean, we struggle with change. The brain doesn't like it when we change the script. It's very difficult. So if anything, we are here, coming out of a period of chaos, and for some reason we've made it this far. But if you look forward, the future remains uncertain. It remains unclear. No one knows what's going to happen, but I can tell you this. Things will keep changing. There'll be some great highs, but there will also be some great lows. Those are the true certainties in life. And so when you think about what is the toolkit that I need to make it and to stay resilient as I look forward, one of the most important things is realizing the importance of purpose. How is it that I can wake up in the morning every single day? Even some of the most difficult days, some of the best days in my life. One thing directs me to my purpose. It's that thing that helps you get up in the morning, the thing that helps you keep pushing even in the most difficult times. Investing in understanding what that is, what does it look like, the shape thereof. I mean, the thing about purpose is it's an experience. It's not something that you can even create. It's what people experience when they're in your presence. It's what you do best without trying. It's when you start having an impact on yourself, on others, and you start experiencing that joy and that contentment, because that's what comes when you start living in purpose. Now, one of my favorite frameworks on this, for those who are really keen to embark on their journey of more and more purpose alignment, is that it's a concept, it's called Ikigai, emerges from the Japanese, and it starts from, investing that time and effort in really finding out what is it that you love to do. I mean, if you didn't have to work, what do you enjoy doing, right? Try different things you like, things you don't like, figure out what you enjoy. But then also do this, find out what it is that you're good at, right? What are some of the things that you really enjoy? Some of the things that it's really, really important to find a way to figure out, what is it that you're good at? Now, the combination of what you're good at and the combination of what you love to do, that's the intersection of where your passion comes to life, right? That's where those two meet. But then there's what the world needs from you, right? And if you intersect that with this also, you start seeing your mission. So what the world needs from you, what is it? How can you contribute to what the world needs now? And then the fourth pillar of all of this is, what is it that you can be paid for, right? I mean, that's when you bring your profession and your vocation into the equation. You bring all of these things together, and there's that beautiful piece in the middle where you have a set of activities or things that you enjoy that cut across all of these metrics and these levers that I've spoken about. Now, once you've been able to identify that purpose, the work now is on you to realize that you are the leader that's going to make it happen. I've always believed in self-directed leadership, right? Going through that journey with yourself where you say, how can I lead myself effectively so that I can have the power to lead my life, my career, and then lead those around me, right? Because ultimately we interact with people every single day. That is an opportunity for you to touch somebody, to really make a difference in their lives. One of the things that really touched me about my experience at Stanford Business School was that they had the motto, right? I mean, it spoke true to me at heart. It said, we are dedicated to changing lives, and thereby changing organizations, and thereby changing the world. And that whole journey is about investing the effort in your own self-awareness, right? And self-awareness means leading yourself. How do I know where do I shine? Where are my gaps? And also in a larger global context, right? Where do I fit in? And then leading others is really, how do you be present for them? How do you actually hear and really create that opportunity for the energies to connect, so that ultimately any action that's taken is a collaboration. And then of course there's a part about leading organizations. When you're taking yourself to a level of inspiration, how do you share a vision? How do you do direction so that you can actually ensure that you get to the outcomes that you need? So it's a whole journey, right? When you're thinking about how do you make it happen. And when you've started embarking on your journey as a leader, right, then there's this piece around, how do you then unleash potential, right, in yourself, in others, or even in the broader global context? We all have potential in us, in many shapes, in many directions, in many sizes. We all have potential that lies within us. You have a story that made you who you are today. Those are the things that we rely on when we need our potential to actually come out. The thing about unleashing your potential is realizing, one, there is no right answer about this. For me is when I bring out my potential. It's different for every individual, right? It comes in different phases, shapes, etc. Hence what I was saying earlier about exploring and trying different things. So when you're unleashing your potential, it's important that you be aware what is happening around you, what is going on, what are some of the things that could really influence you, where you are, some of the decisions that you make, and also help you even identify some opportunities that you wouldn't have even known are there. And then the second thing is about being willing, really being willing to do the work, right? Do the work that is really needed to see the impacts that you're trying to get to. And then the next part is proactivity. Now, I'm a big believer that, just go and do, right? Don't wait, don't overthink, just go and do and see what happens. I mean, if you put your hand up for something, it's an opportunity for you to learn things about you that you didn't even know. Try something new. If you fail, which is inevitable, by the way, guess what? You actually learned something. And through that learning, right? I mean, you end up with this a lifetime of training from the school of life on different boot camps that exist to make us more effective as individuals. Now you put that all together, it pushes you to a point where you need to realize that therefore determination is very critical. I mean, furious determination, relentless determination, irrespective of the circumstances. And I know this is hard sometimes, but the ones who succeed are the ones who keep trying. You only fail when you start giving up, right? And then the other thing is just persistency. So I believe you need to be persistent, you need to be consistent, you need to try over and over and over again. And you keep trying and you stay true to what you're focusing on, because the more you do that, the more you'll see results on the other side. And being relentless, right? Irrespective of the circumstances around you. And if we pause there and you say, but all of that requires a lot of effort, it does. It really does. I mean, it's the ones that work hard and make that choice and make that decision to really push and get to the other side that see the results. But self-care. We've had our wake-up call, right? I mean, let's not lie to ourselves. There is no superhuman, fallacy that we should be falling for at this stage in life. We need to take care of ourselves first before we can even be present for others. And so you need to practice that journey of self-awareness. What do I need to be okay? Who do I need to be okay? Who can I call, right? And also, where do you set your boundaries, right? Because you need to be able to draw the line as an individual and be able to say, you know what? This is where my limit is, and I have the confidence and the courage to express it, even in times where I don't feel like it's okay to say so. Then there's also the part around our health. We're not robots, right? We are not robots at all. We're actually human beings first. And being human beings, I mean, our mental health, it's so important to us, our physical health, right? Our spiritual well-being, I mean, so many different facets of being a human being. And we have different intelligence centers. I mean, we've got our mind, we've got our heart, we've got our gut. All those are areas of life that we preserve by using different levers to preserve them. And so what are you doing to make sure that yours stays healthy? Yours has that feed that it needs so that it can stay resilient. Because what we feed into our systems is what we get out. And it's not just about food. I mean, you are what you eat, but everything. I mean, the energy that you surround yourself with, the people that you allow to influence you, what you read, I mean, what you watch on television, how you speak to yourself. I mean, they say, what would happen if you treated yourself like you treated your best friend? Because that voice in our heads is sometimes the very thing that gets in the way for us as individuals. And then, of course, there's grace. Ultimately, there's grace. You need to give yourself grace. It's important to have compassion with yourself and really be kind to yourself, especially in the times that you need it the most. So I encourage all of you to take the message of grace. I am gracious with myself. I am gracious in how I let others treat me. Because if you embody grace as an individual, by just doing that alone, you inspire others to actually also interact with grace, even with you and with the rest of the world. I do believe what the world needs from all of us is to have grace. So what does grace mean to you? How do you embody grace? How do you express grace? Because when we are gracious, that's when we emanate our biggest light. That's when we shine from our best sides. That's when we have the biggest impact. And ultimately, life is too short to be spending our lives being unkind to others and not living our days bringing wholeness and growth to others. And so I hope you take the message from everything that I've said. I hope there's something that resonated with you, right? One thing, two things, three things. That one thing, take it and say, how do I bring this into my toolkit, my bag? As I think about my success in life and in my journey, I've put it in there. How do I now carry through? Because if you do that for yourself, you're actually giving something to all of us, because we need all of us to be those individuals that really inspire others to unleash their potential. So I wish you well on your journey, on your